choke, no joke. Chicky choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Chicky choke, no joke. You know what it is. And you know when I come on this early, you know what it is. Breaking news. We got some breaking news in the Nolan Wells case. Got some breaking news. Choke, no joke. I am in the building. They have obtained new video. Okay. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. And under fair use, shout out to TMZ for breaking this. But they have new video of Nolan Wells on the ship before he vanished. You see him right here on right here. I'm gonna say allegedly that's him, but as TMZ is reporting it, this is supposed to be him. This is the boat that he was on with his white counterparts. And it look like he's over here reaching for a drink. And let's play the video. Bam. That would be him right there. So this tells me there was a lot of people around. Like I said, allegedly, they saying that's him. Uh, but time will tell. Now, this case, if you aren't aware of what's going on with this case, let me bring you up to speed because I haven't really covered it uh, as I should. And a lot of people say, Joke, this is a job for you. You need to get on this. Right? So, Nolan Wells, this new video is from Horn Island. And this could be the last image before his death. The video is from the day Nolan Wells went missing, might reveal the first clues about who he was with during the last hours of the Horn Island 4th of July party. The video was recorded that day, and as the camera pans around to show multiple boats and tons of people partying, you can see a black man standing on the back of the deck of a boat, apparently bending over to get a drink. The man is wearing trunks matching the color of the ones Nolan was wearing in the infamous July 4th pic with his friends on the boat. I don't know if y'all saw that picture, but I will show it to you. So As you can see, he of course is the only guy of color, but those are the trunks that they feel like matches the guy in the video that's spinning around on that boat. But clearly, you can see the boat and the name of the boat, so you should be able to know if that was him or not. Um, and you can also see a couple of older adults also on board the boat, which is anchored in the neck deep waters. And there are several people hanging out nearby. Metadata shows the video was recorded at 2:23 p.m. I think he went missing around 4:30. While the video does not show the face of the guy on the back of the boat, the person who shot it felt strongly enough it could be Nolan that they went to the cops. We're told that they brought the video to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office last week and left a copy with the detective working the case. A law enforcement source confirmed investigators are aware of the clip. If it is Nolan, this video will be the last known image of the 18-year-old. After 2 hours later, the boat Nolan's friends were on left the island around 4:30 p.m. According to the GPS, and returned to the Mississippi mainland without him. As you know, Nolan disappeared after those friends left, and his body was found July 6th on the Horn Island shoreline. No witnesses have, at least publicly, reported seeing him after 4:30 p.m. on July 4th. Nolan family is conducting his own investigation into the 18-year-old's mysterious death, including ordering an independent autopsy. The boy's parents laid them to rest Monday at Centerpoint Church in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, in a service officiated by Reverend Al Sharpton, where he and Tyler Perry each offered 50,000 for information leading to a conviction in Nolan's death. Mm. Now, they had a press conference recently with with the family. I think it was yesterday actually, and I want to touch on that for a second because I mean, you don't want to make something like this a race thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, one black kid hanging out with three white kids and two white parents. Allegedly, I don't know. That's around the amount of people that was there. Something happens to the one only black kid, and everybody else around there is white. It looks like a race thing because, you know, as you know, Sesame Street or Electric Company, one of them used to say, "One of these kids is doing his own thing. One of these kids did not belong." And in this case, it would be the one black kid hanging out with a bunch of white people. So, first thing that's gonna come to black people mind is uh something racist. But let's see what the evidence shows, because I think probably gonna deep dive on this. And if the white people in this case aren't cooperative and they moving funny, then obvious, it may be a race thing. But we'll see on how they well, in my research, I'll see how they are acting with the family. But let's hear from the family and let's see how the family feels.
And again, my condolences as well to you all. We are praying for you in your time. And what would transparency look like to you all? I know we spoke about transparency during the eulogy. What are you hoping and wanting from investigators?
The truth. I think that we need to hear exactly by with evidence of what they say happened. I think that part of what embellished the concerns we had was for someone in law enforcement here to say we see no foul play. So they're really going to have to show us one way or another where they go from here. The fact is that you cannot convince many of us, given the unanswered questions, cell phones, stuff taken off the cell phone, keys, all of which was at first denied. And no one turned, they did not come to the family. The family started missing him and searching for him. All of that does not add up. So what we would want to see is something that adds up to saying truth, not adds up to just some loosely connected stories.
The only thing I would add to Reverend Al's answer to your question, what is transparency to us? It is truly having a fair and impartial investigation as if Nolan, the facts were reversed. I mean, it's inescapable. People often talk about, well, you all keep interjecting race. Well, y'all know in every situation that is a identifier when you're talking about matters. We hear black on black crime. It's inescapable, and so we want to really be able to say to this family, but to America, it was a fair investigation. Everything they did had the roles been reversed racially, where they had three young black men and a white man died after being on the boat. You have his cell phone. Those are the things that we're searching for. Did you search their phones? We talking about Nolan's phone. Those are the questions that transparency, the autopsy. You know, we waiting for it. It shouldn't take that long. We want those answers. And so transparency is giving complete equity to this family, a fair and thorough, impartial investigation where we know that due process was respected every step of the way. And many have questions. And so we are trying to be respectful and collaborative as much as we can. We will hope that they will give the same to us.
Attorney Crump, we talked before about situations like this, and I'm just wondering, does it bother you a little bit that we don't have that news conference where officials are given a timeline, where they map things out for what they know, where they share as much information as they have with the public? Because obviously people are paying attention.
Yeah, Ryan, it's always troublesome to all of us when these investigations just take forever. I mean, 6 months to get a toxicology report back, to get an autopsy done, as if, the longer we let it go, the more people forget, other things happen, it gets swept under the rug. And so that's what's important, to have a timeline. And when you don't have that timeline, you start to say, oh, what Nolan Wells, what happened? I mean, I remember that case, but we got no answers. And so that's the trouble without having a timeline. And so that's why the people who are calling us, I mean, we have people presenting videos, and it's so helpful as we try to put this puzzle together. People are talking about their boats and when they were out there and when they were in earshot of Nolan and people on the boat. We need all of that information because we want to make sure what goes to the grand jury is accurate.
Right.
We know when it goes to the grand jury, we never will know what happened in that grand jury. That's why we're collecting affidavits. Did this get presented to the grand jury? It's never lost on me. It's never lost on me. You can get an indictment on a ham sandwich in the grand jury if you want to. The question is, are you trying to get to the truth? Or are you trying to help keep the truth hidden from us? And that's what we're fighting for. The last thing I would say is this, and it's important. You know, there are people who are presenting videos, photographs that may show Nolan was on the boat with the person Katie. We got to fully bet that I respect so much what my mentor Reverend Al said up there. We're gonna go wherever the truth leads us. We want the truth, no matter who it implicates or exonerates. We want justice, no matter who it acquits or convicts. So we know they telling two different stories. You know, the boys telling one story, Katie telling one story. What is the truth?
One more question, just obviously mom and dad, thank you for doing this news conference with us, but so many people from the community, both black and white, showed up today. Coaches said that they would love to have your son be their son. When you hear men and teammates reflect on your son's life in the way they have, can you explain to us what that sounds like in your hearts?
You'll never be promoted into a room you sound like you don't belong in.
First interview?
No.
You might want
To me, that sounds like me and my wife did an excellent job at raising a fine young man.
Yes.
Nolan was loved by many, both young and old. He helped a lot of people. No matter if you were regular or handicapped, people still love Nolan. He would help special needs. He would help special needs kids all the time. Basketball, teach them how to play basketball. I mentioned in my speech about getting phone calls and emails. There was a father who asked Nolan to help his special needs son train for basketball, and Nolan did it willingly. And that made that kid's day. And he seen me out one day and he couldn't stop thanking me and praising me enough for the son that I raised and how much that meant to his son. So as far as I'm concerned, we did a great job.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
One more question. Kelvin, J.D. 4.5. We were asking, did you guys ever get the incident report back? We know it was an issue getting it.
No, we brought that up in our meeting, so hopefully we will address that. Won't be today, but we will address that.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Ken. I'm from DFW Night Shift Crime in Dallas, Texas. Just want to offer my condolences to you. I wanted to ask you, what does honoring Nolan's legacy look like for your family moving forward? Are there any foundations, scholarships, community initiatives, or causes you hope people will support in his memory?
Absolutely. This is actually something my cousin Keezy and I have briefly discussed. But of course, with everything that's going on, we want things to kind of cool down a little bit. My husband and I, honestly, we have not fully processed this. We have not fully grieved Nolan, but that is the plan, is to come up with some foundation just to honor him, but also to United Cajun Navy. Big help, boots on the ground almost immediately after I spoke with Josh Gill. So, you know, we have to remember those types of organizations in our communities and utilize them, but also give back to them. So that is our hope, that we'll be able to give as much as we've been given during this time.
Yes.
Stephen Smith with the Associated Press. Is there any update to the independent autopsy that you guys requested?
Sure. And just on that last question, very good question. Christine and Elmore and Cliff Jones and Lisa Park at office, they talk frequently, and that's one of the things she stressed at the funeral service. She wanted to celebrate his life and define what his legacy will be. So we look forward to working to define his legacy. Nobody else is going to define his legacy. but the people who knew him best.
Sorry.
Yeah. As it relates to the independent autopsy, we are looking to have findings sooner rather than later. Obviously, you want stuff from the first autopsy because they had the body closer to time. We got the body almost 6 days later, Dr. Roger Mitchell. So there are limitations as to what he could do. So, you do the best you can, but there are unanswered questions. So he's getting his report together. I believe it will be coming very soon. Yeah.
Let me take one. I'm gonna take three more. 1, 2, and we'll come back to you.
Janelle Griffith with People Magazine. I also want to extend my condolences and to thank you for allowing the media to come. I know you didn't have to allow us to be here. I just had two small questions, both related to cell phones. One of the things that came out of your meeting with the local DA was that you agreed you would both analyze Nolan's phone. I wanted to know when that might take place. And the other was that at the end of the last press conference, you said that, Ben, you said you wanted everybody's cell phones looked at. So that, to me, that meant the other young men that were with Nolan that day. Did you communicate that to the DA, and what did she say? If so, have they analyzed their phones? Do they plan to?
I did communicate that to the district attorney. Whether they're going to do that, that's a question that you have to ask them. But we thought that it's only fair if we're going to look at Nolan's phone, we should look at the other people who were with Nolan that day. Because, again, we just want equal justice. We think that if Nolan was on that boat, roles were reversed, they would look at his phone. And so that is going to be important. We have not established a time yet of when we're going to do the mutual inspection of the cell phone. We have to do some technical things. We're getting our experts together, working with phone companies and so forth. But we hope to do that sooner rather than later. This was a big first step for the family getting through the day. So now we can get laser focused on all those things to finish this investigation.
Will Polson with WLOX. Ben, you had mentioned that it had been a couple of days, I think you had said 6 days, since after the state's autopsy was done before you were able to get access to the body. I know whenever it first came out, it was being flown to DC and then autopsy planned for that Friday. Can you confirm when that autopsy was done?
They had weather issues, so I do think they got the body Friday night or Saturday morning around that time.
Is that the same day that the autopsy was?
I can't confirm that. I know they received the body, and I think they immediately went to it. It would be in the report the date they did the autopsy. Yes.
Miss Selena Charles, Purpose for the People. You guys are supposed to be having a rally on the 26th. Is that still going to occur?
Well, I think that was the community, people who are activists who we're very grateful, standing up, demanding a fair and impartial investigation. And we want to say thank you to all the community leaders and activists standing up saying, no, we want a timeline. We want transparency. We want them to check cell phones. We want everything that you would have done had it been your child. So that's what they're going to be talking about on the 26th.
Thank you.
This is the perfect pair for your iPhone, and it replaces 3 different chargers. So when I travel, I don't pack extra cables, I don't have to pack extra bricks. This covers my phone, my watch, and anything.
Well, I suggest that they definitely check those other kids' phones. Cause kids these days, if some foul was going on, they recorded it to look at and have jokes, and they might have deleted it later. But once you delete it, you ain't really delete nothing, because nothing's ever really deleted. I'm gonna get into this case a little more. I want to know what the statements that were given by the kids that was with them, and because they saying that the ladies giving one statement and the kids, the boys is giving a different statement. So let me do my little choke no joke deep dive on this one. We're gonna get into this, but we know we right around the corner for my man Tupac Shakur's trial. That's right around the corner next month. You know, like 3 weeks away, baby. We here. You know what I mean? So we staying laser focused on Pac right now. And I will be dropping some of the best of Choke No Joke investigative journalism episodes on the Tupac and Biggie stuff. So look, the reason I'm doing that is to remind y'all of certain stuff and certain stuff people said and things like that. So get ready, 3 weeks in a row. We riding, getting ready going to the Tupac, Dwayne, Keefe D. Davis trial, and Choke No Joke. Y'all know what it is, man. We will be in the building. But I'll see y'all later on tonight. All right? Peace.
Choke no joke. Yeah. It's choke no joke. Choke no joke. Chicken choke no joke. Choke no